Hello. We are playing with Facebook Live to see how we can bring on a guest. So that's what we're doing for the second time. We are just making a quick little sample before we go live. Hey, Nadine. Okay. So yours says I can bring you on video, and I'm waiting for Marilyn to come on because she's going to be a guest on my show today, and I'm super excited. So when she pops on and it says bring them on video, I'm going to try and bring her on. But it says I can bring you on. Not sure why I can't bring her on. Looking at my laptop because I'm wondering if there's a different option when I use my laptop instead of. Hey, Sam, how are you? Says I can bring you on video too. I'm just trying to get my guest on here, Miss Marilyn, and I don't see her on here because it's supposed to say bring them on video, but I don't see her yet. So how are you? I hope you're great. We're going to have our Wellness Wednesday, and we're supposed to start in 10 minutes. And we got Marilyn Plum, who is coming on as a special guest today, and she's going to share her testimony about how her health was before. I would love to hear yours, Sam. She's sharing her testimony on how she got healthy and how she had chronic fatigue and all of that. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope she can find us on here and come on. I have to learn how to do this, but it says I can bring you on. So if I see her on here, I'm going to text her really quick. Okay, it doesn't show me that she's on the camera, so let's see. Marilyn, if you come on, I don't know, just click on my live. Hopefully that'll show you, show me how to bring you on. Okay, I don't see you. How come I don't know? Are you on your cell phone or on your computer? Okay, I see a thumbs up, but you're not showing up on my, like Nadine, it says Nadine is watching and Sam is watching, but you are not showing up. So I'm just wondering if you are using a phone app or if you're on your computer. I can see my text messages if you want to text me. Laptop. Okay, I think you're going to need your phone. Are you able to get on Facebook with your phone and find this video? I think you're going to need to do that. So while we're waiting, I'll give you an update. So this last week, I missed Wellness Wednesday because my daughter got COVID, and I didn't realize it, but my other two kids got, there we go, I found you, good job. Okay, I'm gonna bring you on, and then I'm gonna finish this story. All right, let's see. It says bring you on. I'm so excited. This is gonna be so much fun. Okay. I see a split screen. Oh, there you are!
I am. Ooh, my hair.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you. So I'm going to really quick finish my story. Anyway, my daughter got COVID. Uh-oh, where'd you go? You left me. She got COVID, and she got, she had diarrhea really bad. And it was just for 2 days. And if it was just that and she would drink something, it would have been fine. But she got these canker sores in her mouth, and because of that, she wouldn't drink. And because she wouldn't drink, she got dehydrated really quickly. And I was taking her to urgent care, and I was like kind of hoping that they would give me something that I could hydrate her with. And the only way to get IV fluids is through the emergency room. So that's where we ended up. Anyway, hi, Katerina. So anyway, Marilyn and I have this special song that we sing. I was just telling Marilyn, I always, like, every Wednesday I walk around my house, and I've done this before. My husband's dared me to do this, where I sing, "It's just another Wellness Wednesday." And then Marilyn wanted to like take it and sing her own lyrics, but go for it. You want to?
That was something I was going to work on this afternoon and ended up having some people drop by. But I would say it's not just another Wellness Wednesday. It is a wonderful Wellness Wednesday. And I just love the message that you have to share with people.
Thank you. Okay, so for my viewers, I want to introduce you because some people don't know who you are.
Oh,
So
everybody knows me, Stephanie. I'm a legend in my own mind.
that's true. I know you are. You are your best fan, right?
Yeah. I am going to
Okay.
put this.
So if you don't know me, I'm Stephanie, and I have a nutrition business, and I've had this business for like 20 years, and I've studied nutrition for a long time, and I love it. It's my passion. And in the last year or two, I have decided to really actually turn it into a business. So here I am. I'm doing Wellness Wednesdays every week, except last week because my daughter was in the hospital. But I've been doing this for, I don't know, a few months now. And I'm hoping, your phone's all over the place. I'm hoping that this information is helpful and that you can get some benefit from it. And we have talked about all kinds of things. We've talked about digestion, we've talked about cholesterol, we've talked about heart health, we've talked about all magnesium, vitamin D, vitamin E, allergies, all sorts of things. So I've talked about almost everything I can think of, however, not completely. And I'm really excited to have Marilyn on here today. So this is my Aunt Marilyn. Welcome, Marilyn.
Hi. Hi. Just back
And
from
we
work.
have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun working together.
Oh, we sure do. I love this girl. She's pretty incredible. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so are you.
Thank
So,
you.
okay, I've known Marilyn since I was a baby. She's my daddy's sister.
I knew Stephanie when she was just a gleam in her daddy's eye.
And so Marilyn she introduced my family to Neolife back in what year?
85.
1985. That is. So that was a few years ago. So I just wanted to invite you, Marilyn, to share about yourself and how you got in how you felt before you started Neolife, how you got introduced to Neolife, and then how you felt once you started it.
Well, thank you. I was one of those early health nuts in the 70s. Actually started doing our own canning and dehydrating, and my husband Mike and I lived with another couple, and he taught a class called How to Live in the System Without Being Dependent on the System. So it was all about a self-sufficient lifestyle. So we were way before our time. However, I was grinding all my own grain, making my own bread, bees for honey, chickens for eggs, milk to go, year-round garden. And you'd think with all of that, I would be healthy, but I wasn't. By the time I had my fifth baby, I was pretty much unable to take care of my own family. And my sister Judy lived next door, and she was coming over every day to help me with cooking and cleaning and caring for the children. And I remember my baby Sierra was in the playpen crying, and I was on the couch and I couldn't get up. I kept trying to lift my head, and it just the terrible chronic fatigue. Well, I've been asked, why do you think that is with all you were doing? Come to find out, I did not know about GMO wheat. And I'm grinding up all this wheat. And within 20 minutes after eating this delicious homemade bread, I couldn't keep my eyes open. And so anyway, and then as my energy started going down, I started doing things to try to get more energy, eat more sugar, drink more coffee. And as I did those things, my health picture declined even further, and my allergies got so bad. I was at the point where I was getting pretty much housebound. So I do believe there's a God who created us and he loves us. And so I talked to him and I says, you know, God, you created me. And I know it would be no hard thing for you to heal me, but I've asked you many times and you haven't chosen to heal me. Is there something I could do myself so I could be the kind of wife and the kind of mother that I desire to be and that I really believe you want me to be? And you know, so often the struggles we go through in life are the very things that become our mission, become our passion. And so that's what happened for me. I'm 75. I haven't been sick in over 30 years. I'm not on a single prescription. And so I become very passionate about wanting to share this good news with others. What's interesting is that my husband, around the time I was still sick, said, you know, what do you think about, you know, a home-based business? He'd been to a meeting with another company, and I started to cry. I said, you don't think I have enough to do? Because I was trying to homeschool too with this chronic fatigue. And he was real sweet. He says, well, honey, if you don't have a peace about it, then don't do it. But I really, that was another part of my prayer is, Lord, what could I do from home so I could be here for my children, but still help contribute to the household income? And so God answered that prayer through these Neolife products. And I started taking them, and it got rid of the chronic fatigue. It got rid of the allergies. It got rid of the pain all over my body, the digestive issues. Um, it didn't help my craziness, though. I'm not sure if that's going to ever go away. It seems to be getting more pronounced. But anyway, I love
By
to laugh.
crazy, you mean goofy, right?
I love to laugh. So anyway, but yeah, so
I've
that's my
heard that laughter is a really good medicine.
yes. I may not get as much exercise as I should, but I get a lot of internal jogging.
Well, you take after my grandmother that way. She always had a good joke.
She did. She did. And she had a wit that I don't know, her mind's so sharp. No, speaking of her, she was 70 when I started this business. And she had irritable bowel syndrome, she had diabetes, arthritis, asthma, ulcer, chronic fatigue, and she was on thyroid meds, and she had dementia to where we were saying, who's going to take care of our mother? Well, she went on these vitamins, and she and my father had a whole cupboard full of vitamins, and they didn't buy cheap. My dad would go to the nutrition store and say, you know, I've got bursitis. You know, what do you have that would help my bursitis? And he'd take it home. What do you have for libido? Here, Lillian, take this. Anyway.
TMI. Grandma, grandpa.
So anyway, he had bronchitis that turned to pneumonia 3 winters in a row, and they didn't expect him to live through another winter. But I put him on the vitamins. He never did get bronchitis again. He lived. They took a trip across the United States every year for 6 years. And my mother, when she'd been on the vitamins for 2 years, she called me and she says, you know, Marilyn, I mean, we talked before that, but she just called me because she wanted to be sure and tell me a special message. She said, she says, you know, Marilyn, I have never felt this good in my whole life. And she said, when I read things, I remember it better than when I was in college. And so she ended up living to 93 years old. and was not on a single prescription. I got bawled out every time she went to the doctor. Why isn't she on any prescriptions? And I said, what prescription should she be on? And they said, well, at her age. And I thought, okay, I get it. So anyway, but at 93, she just said, I've lived a really good life. And she says, her last words to me and to your dad, Dan, and all of us, her last words to us were, you brought me so much happiness. And she just kind of chose that it was her time to go. So that's a part of this whole message that we have to share. If we can help anybody else, and we have been able to help others with health issues, and not just covering and masking symptoms, but actually getting at the root of what the issue is.
Can you tell me a story about somebody that really stood out to you that had a serious health issue that you were able to help them overcome?
Yes, I do. But one of the most memorable stories I have was not somebody I worked with, but he was in the company. He had Parkinson's disease and emphysema, and they told him he'd be a complete invalid in 6 months. He was building a new house up in Oregon, and they made all the walkways large enough for a wheelchair to go through. And he also made a big picture window in his bedroom so he could lay in bed and look out at the beautiful hillside. Well, his sister came to him and she said, Earl, you got to try these vitamins, because his sister had this situation where her knees would just buckle and she'd fall. And it helped her so much. And she said, Earl, why don't you try these vitamins? And he said, I have a garden. I eat healthy. Vitamins are not anything that's going to help me. She said, well, Earl, don't be so stubborn. She said, take them. If they don't help, at least you tried. So he did. He started taking the vitamins. Oh, and he'd already had 2 heart attacks. And so he started taking the vitamins, and he was really happy about the results he was getting. But about 3 years down the road, he had another heart attack. And he was really disappointed. He went to the doctor. He went to a Seventh-day Adventist doctor who had a strong focus on nutrition. Okay. Doctor said, I want you to bring me everything you're taking. So he brought him his vitamins, and he said, okay, I want you to double and triple everything you're taking. So that's what he did. He started double, tripling. In fact, I had lunch with him one time, and he had like almost a cereal bowl full of vitamins. And he said, oh, people ask me all the time, how can you take all those vitamins? And he said, I know the alternative, and this is better. So anyway, he ended up prescription free. I saw him jet skiing at 76 years old. And I'm not sure, I think maybe in his 80s too. I'd have to go back and look at the video. But his wife passed away. He remarried in a treehouse. And they took a trip around the world for their honeymoon. And at 97, he's out mowing his lawn. And he tells his wife, he says, I'm not feeling too good. I think I'll go to the doctor and get checked. And he just died that day. See, don't go to the doctor. No. Anyway,
great message.
Again, that is such a wonderful, wonderful story. He was a man who loved the Lord, and he just always would share, but he never wanted to be negative. And he said to me one time, he says, I have a fantastic memory. It's just short. And the older I get, the better my forgetter work.
We have something for brain health, don't we?
Yeah, actually, we didn't have it when he was here. It's a newer product, and we have that mind enhancement that I just love. Yeah.
Yeah. For brain health, I really like the lecithin. I've been taking triple of that because I have all these things in my head all the time. managing a law firm, and I'm running my Neolife business, and I'm homeschooling my kids, and I'm the director for a preschool Awana club, and I also run the kids ministry at my church. So I have a few things on my mind all the time. So sometimes things slip my mind. And I'm telling you, the lecithin really helps. I forget to take the mind enhancement. So, but the lecithin is working.
It is. It is. It helps the neurotransmitters in your brain to make connection. And it also is very, very good for your back, for the connective tissue in your back. And
good to know.
So,
didn't know that.
And I had adult acne, and I was advised to take lecithin, and it helped with that.
Well, that's exactly what initially got me going with Neolife as an adult. Was I was taking birth control pills for my acne, and I told you about it, and you were like, "Oh, stop that." You said take vitamin A and zinc, and I started taking vitamin A and zinc, and I stopped taking the birth control pills, and my skin was clear, and I never really got pimples anymore ever again.
Yeah.
And I've never stopped taking that protocol, and I think I was 25 and I'm 43 now, so I've been taking the vitamin A and zinc forever.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you know, huh?
I was just gonna say the beauty is that, you know, with every prescription from the doctor, it always has a negative side effect. But the beauty of nutrition is you have side effects, but they're all positive. So the vitamin A helps your eyesight. It strengthens your mucous membrane lining. So like pollen has little barbs in it, like fish hooks. They lodge in your sinuses, and that's why people sneeze and have allergies and their eyes water. If you have sufficient vitamin A, they can't lodge; they slip right off. So, and it works very quickly. I've had people at my house that had like a full-blown allergy attack, and I give them vitamins for allergies, and within 20 minutes, it's gone. One young kid was out on our front yard playing football, and he had really bad asthma. He was wheezing and wheezing, and he said, "Do you take me to the hospital?" You know, and I go, "Wait, first take this." He didn't need to go to the hospital.
I know. It's incredible. So what I just absolutely love so much is that there's real results. These are designed to take long term because they're made from whole human foods. So I mean, like you're supposed to eat fish, and you're supposed to eat whole grain lipids and cereals, and you're supposed to eat vegetables. These are also designed with food, those ingredients, for long-term use, because we're not getting those things in our daily diet in the quantity that we need, and also in the quality that we need. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about the quality of our products?
Yeah. I love what you said too. One of the criteria for this company is they will only use things that are part of the human food chain that they know are safe to take for the rest of your life. Years ago, we had a scientist that was working for the company, and he was a very well-known scientist, but he wanted to use a type of algae in our carotenoid product in our fruit and vegetables. And because algae, you know, is from nature, you can call it all natural. But one of our scientists, the man who actually started our scientific advisory board, was Dr. Arthur First. Now, Dr. First is the man who came out with chemotherapy for cancer. But when he saw what it did to people, he said, my life's work is no longer going to go into chemo. It's going to go into prevention and natural cures. And interestingly enough, many companies came to him and said, we'd like to work with you on that. But they said, this is our price point. This is what we want to sell it for. And this is the profit margin we're looking for. He said, Neolife was the only company out of many that said to him, we don't care what it costs to make, you make the best product you can, and we'll set the price accordingly. So he started working with Neolife to put together programs to prevent cancer and to treat it naturally. And he also started the American College of Toxicology. So he set up standards that exceed any government standards anywhere in the world for purity. And then we also test our raw material for potency. And we've had situations where a certain raw material was sent to us and they verified it had a certain amount of like B vitamins.
Mhm.
And they even had an independent laboratory verify it had this much B vitamins. We tested ourselves and it didn't even have 1/3 of what they claimed. So that's a huge distinction, is that most supplement companies do not have the means for testing their own product. And
Mhm.
because we do, we don't have to rely on somebody else. We can always test to be sure that the purity is there and that the potency is there.
Mhm.
The being made from whole foods that you know are safe to take for the rest of your life. By law, vitamins do not have to be made from food and they can still be called all natural. So you end up getting vitamin E that they synthesize out of petroleum. At UC Berkeley, they did a study and found that it caused more tumors to grow and they grew faster with vitamin E than without it. They
Mhm.
did a study with beta carotene and it was not from a food source, it was from Hoffmann La Roche, a chemical. And they had so many men dying of lung cancer and heart disease, they had to stop the study again. They did it first in Finland, then in the United States. So that's the really tricky part for people, is we're trying to do the best we can with our food dollars, and we buy vitamins because we read it that this is supposed to be helpful, but you really don't know, you know, who to
Mhm.
trust unless you have your own laboratory. And speaking of having your own laboratory, we have one of our scientists is Dr. Liz Applegate. She's head of the nutrition department at UC Davis. In fact, she writes the curriculum for many of the UC campuses. And I asked her, I says, Dr. Applegate, I'm really curious, what made you decide to join Neolife? And she said, well, Marilyn, I had a name tag on, we're not besties. But anyway, she said, Marilyn, I've been studying supplementation for 32 years. She said, as you can imagine, I've had every pill, every powder, every liquid brought to me. I've had it analyzed in the laboratory, and for 32 years, I've come back and said, no, I wouldn't recommend that.
Mhm.
She said, I heard about Neolife, and I spent one whole year analyzing these products.
Mhm.
And she said, the deeper I looked, the more excited I got to finally find a company that had the science, the research, and the integrity. And she said, for the first time, I'm taking supplements and I feel confident recommending them to others.
Mhm.
So I think that's a pretty
Yeah,
strong endorsement.
she's so awesome too. I love listening to her talks because she is a professor, and so she's very good at educating. She's
Mhm.
a really good presenter, and I learn a ton from her. She's done talks on glucose balance, diabetes, and she goes through what diabetes is and how your insulin receptors work and how anyway, I learned a ton, and I felt like I just took an entire class on diabetes with her, and I loved it. So, okay, one of the things that I like to talk about on my Wellness Wednesday also is just being aware of what you're putting in your body, right? Are we eating organic or genetically modified, which now they're changing to bioengineered? Do you know how to read labels, things like that? And because of that, I want to just kind of go into Neolife in how, like, we don't say we're organic, but can you explain why we don't call ourselves organic and what our standards are for quality that way?
Sure. We are we don't use anything GMO, and our standards are actually exceed organic. Um, we are in 50 countries around the world, and so there's different. Some of those countries have very high standards, like Japan. They
Mm-hmm.
just outlawed almost all cold cereals because of the glyphosate that's in them. And Italy just outlawed GMO seeds. So I guess the labeling laws somehow have a little bit different, but our standards do exceed organic standards. And we do have a pharmaceutical license, which means that FDA can come in at any time
Mhm.
and take any product off the shelf and test it for purity and for potency. And as Stephanie mentioned, we started in 1958 and we've never had a recall on a single product because
Mhm.
the ethics and the integrity of this company is really high.
Yes. And so, if somebody wants to try it, what kind of, money back guarantee or whatever do they offer?
Well, the company wouldn't still be in business with the money back guarantee they have if they didn't really work. So yeah, you can empty bottle money back guarantee, and there's, you know, we have quite a nice variety of products. Whatever your ailment is, we probably have something that will help you with that. The doctor of nutrition that Stephanie and I work with is he's board certified clinical nutritionist in the United States and internationally. His mother used to brag and say that he was got one of the highest scores anybody ever got that took the test. And he'd say, "Oh, mom, don't tell." So anyway, but he wrote a book called Your Body's Sign Language.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, whatever we have wrong with us is our body's way of saying there's a tool I need, I don't have, I can't do my job.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the beauty is we can identify what's missing in our diets, and we can supplement with these whole food concentrated supplements.
That's awesome. I know, 90 days. Empty bottle guarantee. So you took the whole bottle and you're like, didn't work. I don't like it. You get your money back. I've never had anybody say that. I've had some people that say they got a stomach ache or something from something, but it just depends because I mean, if you don't have a gallbladder, your gallbladder doesn't work, you can't process certain fats. So you just got to we need to be a little bit aware of what their current existing health condition is and what works and what doesn't work. So, I mean, the real overall thing is, I mean, my mom had cancer, and Dr. Jim McAfee, who you were just talking about on our team, was able to give her a full nutrition plan, and that had to do with what she was eating, what she was not eating, and also the supplements. So basically, in a nutshell, creating an environment in the body where cancer just can't grow and survive. And then on top of that, building up the immune system to fight off the cancer cells that were not able to like grow and thrive in that environment, right? You want to starve it. So no sugar, no carbs, ketogenic and intermittent fasting. And really, we have to also be mindful that not every diet plan is a one size fits all for anybody. So what might work for one person may not work for another. So that's something that we offer when we do a health analysis, and we look at your whole health situation, and we're able to assess what could benefit you and where. So like you were just mentioning the allergies. I've had how many health parties where people have had allergy attacks during the health party. Like, I have pets and they are allergic to our pets. So you're like, oh, give them this many vitamin A, and they take it and they're like, oh my gosh, I feel better. And then, yeah, the side effects are, oh, it helps your vision and it clears up your skin and it is good for your immune system. So it's really fun to help people actually get truly healthy, and our bodies are designed to heal themselves. So we don't claim to heal anything. We just give your body the proper foods that your body needs that we're not getting in our diet, and your body does the work. You're just
Yeah.
empowering your body's immune function to work properly.
Yeah. You know, I heard a doctor years ago on television, and he said, God in his wisdom made our bodies out of vitamins, minerals, enzymes, protein, carbohydrates, and lipids and sterols. And he
Mm-hmm.
said, doesn't it make sense to provide your body with the same raw materials that God in his wisdom made you with long before you introduce a foreign chemical that has nothing to do with his original plan or design?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was such a simple, easy way to understand, and it just really makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. One other thing that I wanted to mention, and this is, I want you to kind of get into it a little bit more, but so our supplements are, right, we talk about vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin B, right? But some nutrients are designed to work together, right? Synergistically.
Mm-hmm.
So what is this company's philosophy on that?
Well, because it comes from whole food, like our vitamin E, it has alpha, beta, delta, gamma tocopherols, alpha, beta, delta, gamma tocotrienols. So there's 8 different components in the family of vitamin E. And so we always keep things together in family, just like our B vitamins. A lot of people say, well, I take B6 or B12 or whatever. But if you do that, you throw the other B vitamins off in your body. So it's always
Mm-hmm.
better to take things as a whole food source. And with the vitamin E study, as I mentioned earlier, when you isolate the vitamin E family and don't use the whole family, it tends to you have receptor sites on your cells for vitamin E, and so when you eat certain foods that have vitamin E in them, your body thinks, well, I have vitamin E, and so it actually prevents your body from being able to absorb the nutrients from your whole food vitamin E. So that's one of the reasons that more tumors were growing, and they grew faster with vitamin E than without it.
Mm-hmm.
So ours are put together as whole food families.
And most people don't know that there's 11 B vitamins, right?
Yeah.
And there's 8 components to the vitamin E.
Mm-hmm.
And how many omega 3s are there? There's 8 omega 3s.
Well, I'm not real sure if they're called omega-3. It's just that you might be right. I'm not sure. I do know that our scientists have found that there's 8 components in fish that are all a benefit to humans.
Mm-hmm.
And so our fish oil products have all 8 in there. And with our toxicologist, head of the department, um, he set up standards that exceed any government standard for purity. So all of our fish oil is tested for 200 contaminants with 0 tolerance. And that's now, omega-3 fish oils are wonderful. Some of the benefits is that they break up platelets in the blood, they improve circulation. The highest percentage of lipids you have is in your brain and your nerves. So it helps with brain health. It helps with
Mm-hmm.
anything like fibromyalgia, lupus, arthritis. All of those things are benefited with omega-3. Um, and the anti-inflammatory properties. My back was bothering me, and I started taking additional salmon oil, and it's pretty amazing the difference it makes.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps with the good and the bad cholesterol. It just has so many benefits. But the problem is that in fact, I had somebody today say, "We're not supposed to take too much fish oil, are we? Isn't it dangerous?" And I said it's only dangerous when because of the contamination. The lead, nickel, mercury, and DDT is what they find in most fish oil products. But we had a young man, my son has a friend, and we were at a memorial service together actually. And we started talking to this young kid, and he said, I haven't been able to work in 6 years. He was in a really bad car accident, and then he ended up getting beat up really bad. And so he just excruciating pain. He'd already had 2 back surgeries. He wanted to do another one. He says, no, absolutely not. So my son came home, goes back to the neighbor's house and gives this young kid the salmon oil. He said, here, take this. He says, just keep adding one every day until the pain is gone. Well, the third day he's on the fish oil, he calls my son. He says, I don't know if I can handle these fish burps. And my son said, no, 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 just keep taking it. By the time he built up to 4 a day, he called me and he said, Mrs. Plum, I have been on the strongest painkillers you can get, and nothing has even come close to reducing the pain like this has. And by the end of the month, he called and he and his wife were just ecstatic. Now he can go back to work. He can, play with his children again. And he said, I never would have believed it if I hadn't experienced it myself. So,
yeah, I use that salmon oil for endometriosis flare-ups, and I just take 1 dose of 8. That's my dose, and all my pain goes away, and it doesn't come back until the next flare-up a month later.
okay.
So I just use it medicinally that way. I also take it every day in a smaller dose, but when I have a flare-up or even a headache, I use the salmon oil, and it works better than Advil.
Yeah, because around our brain we have this myelin sheath, and that gets inflamed, and so the salmon oil is anti-inflammatory, so it helps get rid of the inflammation. It's very good for migraine headaches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these vitamins seem to have worked with almost everybody I've ever talked to, unless they don't take enough. That's the only time I've seen. And some people say, well, I just can't swallow pills or whatever. But if they're willing to, do what needs to be done, they do get tremendous results.
Yeah, I absolutely love it.
One other thing I forgot to mention about the salmon oil is the male prostate. It's very, very important for men, these omega-3 oils, and the circulation. If you have cold hands and feet, it helps with that. So
good to know.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that. All right, well, it's been like 40 minutes, and so I just don't want to keep you too much longer. Is there anything else you want to add before we close up shop?
Well, I would just say that Stephanie and I would love it if you reach out to us. If you have any questions or if there's anything we can do to help you, that's our passion, is to truly make a positive difference in the world. And one of our mottos is to end the trend of sickness and disease and the end trend of poverty. As you can imagine, with products that work this well, there is a wonderful business income opportunity attached to it. And people are at a point where they really are looking for answers for improved health. So we'd love to share that with you if you're interested.
Let me ask you about that real quick. So you've been doing this business for how many years?
I started in 85.
And you raised how many kids on this business?
I had 6 and a foster son, and we brought close to 100 kids in our home that were at risk. So that's the beauty is, you can do this around your home, around your family. And because it's a consumable item, you've got a wonderful repeat business. And it continues, to grow. And I just had somebody in my office who she started using the product. She loved them. She shared it with a coworker. She says, "Can we come and talk to you tomorrow?" And so it's not like a business where you have to do it all yourself, but other people love to share the good news of health.
Yeah. Now I'm at the point where most of my friends call me if they have a health issue, and they're like, okay, what do I do? And I'm learning how to, and I've been learning how to get those answers on my own. through my research. And doing Wellness Wednesdays has been phenomenal in my own education because I'm studying a particular subject every week and learning all the ins and outs of it so that I can talk about it. So it's been a lot of fun learning, and yeah, so I've enjoyed it. It's not, you know, I mean, nutrition isn't everyone's forte, but or um, if you know somebody that's battling, I know my kids are getting rambunctious, but if you know somebody that's battling a health issue, we have certainly, you know, some really good resources, and I love answering questions. People are texting me all the time like, oh, this person had a heart attack, what do we do? Or this person was just diagnosed with cancer, what should I do? And I, you know, I mean, it's really great to be able to help people.
Well, the other thing that came to mind is that we've talked about very serious conditions, but there's a lot of people who just struggle with depression or hormone imbalance. I mean, that was one of my big ones when you said PMS, that my pretty mean sister, that was me. And so we have things that can help with that. Energy, depression, trouble sleeping.
Pregnancy.
Yes, I had a girl married 13 years, didn't use birth control. She went on these vitamins. She just had her third beautiful baby. So there's just a lot of different aspects of that we can help.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. This was really fun, and every time I talk to you, I learn something new, and it's really fun to learn from you. So thank you. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and we hope you have a fabulous night. If you want more information, check out my Facebook page. I have a link to my website, and I also will respond to messages, so feel free to message me. If you want a particular subject to learn about on a Wellness Wednesday, please let me know. I would love to research it and learn more too. So feel free to.
Why don't you tell them again what your website is? Or
it's on my Facebook page, but it's purelynutritional.org. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I got some really super awesome people watching here. You got lots of notes. Awesome! I love it. Hope you're doing well, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye.